everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Inquiring Faith, the show dedicated to exploring the origins and beliefs of religions around the world. I am your host, KJ Antesky, and today we're going to be talking about the origins of Sikhism. Alright guys, let me preface this episode by saying I'm sorry if I miss anything. It was a lot harder to find things on Sikhism because it is not as well known as you would think, being the fifth largest religion in the world. I also do not have any Sikh friends or Sikhs in my area to have spoken to, so now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. Sikhism is the fifth largest religion in the world. It boasts somewhere around 25 million followers, which is roughly the population of Texas. Now, speaking of the US, there's roughly 700,000 Sikhs in the US alone. That's roughly 3% of their population entirely. Now, Sikhs have actually been in the US for quite some time. We have records of them being here as early as 1897. But the first Sikh place of worship wasn't built until 1912 in Stockton, California. So now that we've established their presence, let's go back and look at where they came from. Let's go look at the birth of Sikhism. Sikhism was born in the 15th century in the Punjab area of what is now India and Pakistan. It started with the teachings of the first Guru of Sikhism, Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak was born to a family of Hindus April 14th, 1469. He was born in a place that is currently known as Nankana Sahib in Pakistan. And even at an early age after he was born, he showed great interests in religion and studied Hinduism and Islam extensively. Perhaps one of the most well-known stories of Guru Nanak's childhood was in his early teens. He had a little bit of a rebellious phase. You see, in Hindu tradition, when a boy becomes of age, they participate in what is known as the Upanayana. The ceremony is like a rite of passage, requiring that young boys wear a sacred thread around their arm to symbolize where they are within the Hindu society. Now, Guru Nanak rejected this string, or this thread, and said that it is not a good way to define people. He did not believe in the caste system early on. He said instead that people should be judged by their actions and not by some flimsy piece of rope. He said it, not me. Just don't shoot the messenger. Guru Nanak continued to demonstrate radical thoughts in relation to religion. He argued with almost everyone he could, from Muslim priests to Hindu sages, about things like penances and pilgrimages. Pilgrimages? I don't think that's a word. Pilgrimage. Arguing that this wasn't a spiritual problem, but more something that needed to be changed internally, within us. By the age of 30, Guru Nanak had finally found the answers he had sought after all this time. Just like every morning, Guru Nanak went to bathe in the local river. He usually went to clean himself in the cold water and sing God's praises. But this day was different. When Guru Nanak went to go bathe, he went missing for 3 days. His friends found his clothes lying on the shoreline and they looked around calling for him, "Nanak, Nanak, Nanak, where have you gone?" They had assumed that he had drowned and they couldn't do much about it. But 3 days later, he had returned. Upon his arrival back, he had revealed that he had gone to God's court, that he had drank from the nectar of the universe. He also proclaimed one other thing. There are no Muslims. There are no Hindus. There is only God. And this isn't to say that Hindus and Muslims were wrong. It was to say that there is only God. There is only one God. And that everyone is equal under the eyes of God. That there is no defining differences between one man to another. That everybody is equal. And for 30 years after that, he went on a spiritual journey trying to figure out all of the things he was supposed to learn, and so that he could in turn teach it to others to bring them to God's court. Guru Nanak would be followed by 9 other successors, whose wisdom and teachings would all be compiled into what is now known as the 11th living Guru, the Granth Sahib, the Sikh Holy Scripture. Alright guys, that's my time. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Inquiring Faith and learned something about where Sikhism came from, or if you didn't know about Sikhism at all, I hope you now know a little something about it. If you have any questions or there's something I might have missed, let me know in the comments section down below. Otherwise, leave a like and yeah, and I will see you guys in the next video.